Hello and welcome to my X-plane 11 flights. Today we're in Seattle in SSG's 747-8. I've been doing a lot of flights on my Alaska Tours series of flights up in Alaska. So haven't done one flight in this one of my favorite aircraft for a while. So decided to saddle up, and we're at the northeast end of the ramp of the airport in Cargo, and where our destination is Salt Lake City, just about 600 miles. And we'll look at the route and the approach we plan to do a little later on. Seattle right now is pretty low visibility. It's like a mile. Temperatures in the upper 30s with light precipitation. So, getting cockpit, we've done all the pre-flights. We've got the checklist running here on the lower ICAS. Just for departure, we just need to set our flaps. Brakes have been set to RTO. As far as the MCP, V2 is a 178. Our first course, our first waypoint is pretty much straight out, 341 heading. We followed for flight level 350, so that's on the altitude selector. Got both BWAR selected in the up position. We've got traffic and weather up and running. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the taxi diagram from ABS. Going to go to the opaque view. So I've got X-Life traffic going, and Seattle is in a north flow, so we see a bunch of people landing here on 34 center and 34 left, and these guys are all taxiing to the south on Bravo. Looks like I have one aircraft here on Alpha, the one pulling out. So we're going to head down Alpha and then merge on over to Bravo here. It's just Alpha joins Bravo down a little far to the south. So, without further ado, we'll get rolling. It's going to be a fairly narrow taxiway, or narrow here on the taxiway out. Some of these aircraft are here, actually, when I first started up. Nothing to do with X-Life, but then X-Life produced a few. So I think I might have started the flight a little on the late side. We'll see. I love going to Salt Lake City. The first couple of times I did it was in FJS's 737-2 aircraft that I really love to fly. You know, we get moody. Sometimes you feel like this, sometimes you feel like that. I'm about halfway through my Alaska Tours series of flights. Presently, I'm back at Anchorage. So let's see if I can stay on the center line here, so we can avoid the traffic. Take a look outside. So we have visibilities right now. I think I've got it set at a mile with fog. Actually, what I usually do, and I will do for arrival in the Salt Lake City, is a couple steps to reduce that. I'm sure to turn the taxi light on too. So we're going to go down Alpha. Yeah, I need to turn the taxi light on. I use a couple utilities for reducing the fog and the haze. Whoa, that's a little late. And one I do manually. I just don't think it's realistic that the default fog and haze that shows up but I did not do that at all for our departure here, so we got a lot of fog. That's fine. What we need to do here is turn the taxi light on. So we can see and be seen. It's like we have traffic off to our right just landed. And we'll give way, which is usually the case to do. Okay, so we're going to turn auto throttle and flight directors on here shortly, and I already have MCP set up otherwise. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and add flaps for takeoff, which are 10 degrees, so we can mark that off on the checklist. Should take 3 clicks. And I'm not sure if actually checklist will automatically detect that and mark it off. Still going down a little bit beyond 5 degrees right now. Oh, okay, flaps 10 are now set. That is not an auto check off item, so I'm going to go ahead and check off. Flaps are set as indicated here on the upper ICAS, 10 degrees of flaps. So while looking at the lower ICAS here is our current takeoff weight, 763,000 pounds. We have 77 pounds of fuel, 1,000 pounds of fuel on board. FMS is calculating just under 60,000 pounds for the trip. Oh, easy. So we should have a fairly reasonable reserve. The fact is, it will be VFR. It should be real butamus. It's 3 degrees centigrade plus, so I think that's like 38 degrees. So I'm going to mark flaps set for takeoff. And next is our after takeoff checklist. All right, looks like we have a clear shot here at Bravo. A number of times with X-Life traffic going, they come in and sit right in front of Bravo here and 3-4 right, and you have to go down off to our left here to get clear them. But today it looks like pretty good. I think the traffic we're seeing on ABS, I think he's lining traffic, so he'll be going into the terminal. I set a fairly higher than I usually do, cost index, so we should be able to make pretty good time. I like being from the outside. So we should have pretty nice view once we get above the cloud layers. I think I set the tops about 25,000. So this first deck will go through real fast. And we should be nicely on top as we head south and to the east. But during the break, when we're at cruise, I am going to change the weather and get rid of all these clouds so we can have a nice view of Salt Lake City. And I will get rid of as much fog and haze as I can. So, starting up xplane, actually, two of those factors, two of those items that will reduce it are done automatically. One is you edit one of the configuration files. I don't remember one offhand. You do that, and it's good. And trying to remember what the other one is. That one's southwest. That's funny. I just had it tip of my tongue. Okay, looks like I see on the ABS. I see traffic pushing back at our 11:30. I think that's Alaska. It's pushing all the way around. We are in a north flow. X-Life traffic, sometimes they don't mess around. Would not be surprised if he starts taxing before we get there. By all rights, Brown should tell him to follow the 747 that is off to your right. We're going to go all the way down to 3-4 right for departure. 3-4 center and 3-4 left are being used for both arrivals and departures. We've got the big bird here. Oops, there he goes. I'm going to add a little bit of brakes here. Well, I'm going to leave my taxi light on so you guys, maybe next time you'll see traffic. But we'll let that pass. That's Alaska. That's our favorite airline, other than Atlas Air. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to teach the 747-400 for Flight Safety Boeing. Oh, shoot, 15 years ago. And Atlas Air was one of the clients. And what they do is they actually purchase the aircraft as well as all the flight training. So they spend usually between 4 and 6 weeks with us. I was not a full flight instructor, not type rated in the aircraft, but I helped him through the ground schools, and then we did all of our work in either full flight 47 sim or the ground-based fixed-base sim for the 474, and basically taught them everything new to the aircraft from what they were transitioning to. The big one is that there's no flight engineer. It's all built into the overhead and into the panel. It's as it's a PFM, pure flocking magic, the way it all works. It's just incredible. So it's real nice. It's fun to get into a newer version of the aircraft, 747-8, along with Javier Cortez's FMC. One thing I hope he is planning for, although I saw that there's a new upgraded version, I believe, of this aircraft. It's called the Intercontinental. Actually, I'm not sure the terminology, frankly, but it supposed to be an upgrade, and what was kind of disappointing to see, it's still based on this aircraft, is the two FMCs are still not independent, and they should be. The one in the center console down below in the radio stack, that one's okay. If I recall, it's been too many years. That was slave to the captain's FMC, and I don't remember if you can actually select to go to either one. But for the two flying pilots here, these NDs, or excuse me, FMCs really do need to be independent. That's funny. I can't think of that. 3 things I've done to improve the visibility. But the one I do manually every time I start xplane is a utility, a plugin called Data Ref Editor. You can go into all the art editors, and you can you go to a selection there called Fog Be Gone, and you just simply change it from its default of 1 to 0 point something. Oh, we got traffic behind us. My guess he's gonna, if we sit here, he'll taxi right on beyond us. Okay, what I need to do here is get the auto throttles armed, flight directors on both sides, which is not confirmed correct. We see Toga for both those 2 channels. We'll go ahead and arm LNAV and VNAV. Yep, he's gonna oh man, he is literally on our tail. So let's get all the lights on. And we'll get strobes on, get the wing lights on, or low lights on. All right, let's just see where this guy is. Oh, he's not as close as AVS shows him. All right, normally all that wouldn't go on until actually taking the active. So let's release our brakes. And X-Live traffic could easily be landing. I don't see anybody on the track. I sure can't see the final. And I don't think the parking brake's disengaged. Nope. There we go. It's an odd thing. I like using AVS here. You can actually scroll in quite a bit and actually monitor your taxi. So you have to take things pretty wide in this aircraft. So I'll be advancing power up.
Approaching 3-4 right.
Up to about 50 or 60%, and let them engine stabilize, and then we'll be going to thrust ref, which is activated on this little button on the upper portion of the glare shield there. Looks like I need a little more power here. I don't know, AVS, well, I guess it's showing accurate. Let's go and start a nice lazy turn. The pilot not flying callouts are a little weak, So I'm not sure how much we're going to hear. Oh, should start a little later. And I can't tell if that's somebody up there or not. My ABS does not show anyone.
On runway 34, right.
Well, sheesh. When I was working for Flight Safety Boeing, I could do this in my sleep. Okay.
On runway 34, right. On runway 34, right.
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you, ABS. So our V rotate speed is 160. So let's get some power going here and get this baby airborne. Easy. Okay. A pretty heavy boat here, so I did not do any assumed temperatures or climb derates at all this trip. Sometimes is auto throttle on? Yeah, auto throttle's on. Why are we not accelerating? Well, I don't know. I'll do it manually. Oh, there he was. Well, that's kind of disappointing. I'm not sure what's going on with auto throttle. Okay. Come on, let's get airborne. Yeah, that's okay. Here's positive rate. Let's go flaps 5 and gear up. Well, now thrust ref is being commanded. Traffic, I don't see anybody. Alright, let's get command left autopilot on. And that'll accelerate us up here. Oh, we're already at flaps 2 speed. Let's get some more flaps up. Ooh, hell, that was a bit sloppy. Okay, landing gears up. Checklist. Okay, LNAV, VNAV speed is being commanded. Now we'll stay VNAV speed until FMC takes directly over our speed. Okay, flaps. Oops, not quite. Almost at flaps up speed. And I'll stay on VNAV speed until FMC is taking over directly control of our speed. Right now, thrust ref for takeoff is what's being commanded. Now, I'm seeing something interesting here on the ND. This, I forgot to mention, I should have briefed on our departure. I'm not sure of this track here. Our next fix is on a 071 heading to intercept the 139 radar out of the Payne VOR, which is to the north, about 30 miles. And once we do that, to this fix here, oops. See, that's where we're heading right now, and then we'll turn 116 another turn. I'm not I'm not liking what I see here on the ND. Something is not going right. That's our track to the west, or to the east, to this fix, I believe. See, we don't actually intercept the 139. So something I think is goofy going on. So we are heading to the east. We should be turning south towards Suma. Huh. Yeah, we're definitely heading to the east. I'm monitoring the flight on my mini Mac, my second computer. Oh, this is interesting. I want to get the scale out here. Okay. Oh, okay. This is looking okay. Man, I just had the scale in too far. Yeah, okay. This is looking good. This is our next fix. This intersection of 07 and 1 heading by default. FMC made a little more turn. Now we're turning, should be turning to about a 116 heading out to this fix. Yeah, finally, above 7,000. Let's get the flaps up all the way. And then we'll be turning southbound towards Suma. Okay, we're doing okay. I've noticed that this departure, which I like, Suma 1 departure out of SeaTac when you're heading east or south, works pretty well. I'm kind of curious why our climb rate, well, it should pick up here as soon as we get up to 337 is not being commanded in our econ climb speed. Once we get to that speed, then we should increase our climb rate. It's just kind of doing both. So we have an FMC message. Let's see, our recall are all clear. So I believe, well, first of all, let's do our checklist. Flaps both up. Okay, the checklist is now ready for our descent. No cruise checklist. Everything's automatic, so there's not much need for it. So what I'm going to do for now is going to go ahead and blank the lower ICAS. Next, I'm going to go check out this FMC message. We don't see anything here on the FMC, and I believe we need to go to our progress page. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's correct. Well, anyway, while we're here, okay, it looks good. Our top of climb is 120 miles from out here. Yeah, we can see up here now we're climbing normally, so as expected. We need to go to standard altimeter setting. So our FMC calculated fuel at Salt Lake City will be 33,000 pounds, which is pretty nice. That's a little over an hour of reserve. Okay, I think it's on this page where the FMC message, yep, that occurred the message. So I did not, as I said, I did not use any sort of assumed temperatures for our departure because we were, well, about 150,000 pounds under gross. In the past, I've set a climb D rate of 10%, and that probably could have worked, but I'm kind of in a hurry on this particular flight. It's I'm going to try to get it done. I have a night schedule. It's 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I would like to get this done in an hour and a half. So those are just real world issues. And there's nothing abnormal in that at all, using full power for takeoff and no climb D rates. And I set a cost index of 130 something or another. So I'm expecting pretty good cruise speeds here. Okay, so I think we need to do here is go to standard. Pressure, which is now set. So we're gonna, as I said, we'll stay on thrust ref. If I had initiated a climb, or 10% climb reduction, this would have been a different. I forget what this displays, but it would stay that way until we get up to our cruise altitude. So let's see, a little late here, but let's get off our landing lights. Runway and identifier lights we don't need. Take our turn off. And let's see. I didn't need the wing lights. And I did turn on all our anti-ice on auto for the 4 engines, and then wing and ice on auto. So we're getting above the cloud decks. So let's, I forgot to actually take a little closer look. So we're estimating Salt Lake City, our present speed, 588 miles, 0516. 0516. Time now is 0355. So it looks like about what, an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, cool. We're up to 400, almost 460 knots, climbing at 1,700 feet a minute. And here again, what I should have probably done is put in 10% climb reduction. I don't recall offhand how long that stays in effect, or if it's all the way up to our climb, or up to our altitude or not. I know it discontinues somewhere before top of climb. We're in the range out a little bit more. Well, we're almost at Suma. 13 miles. If I've been watching a little bit more, I may have actually proceeded direct to our next fix on the way, which is Baker City VOR, I believe, Bravo Kilo Echo. But we're just about there. Our top of climb, if we look on the ND, is about 80 miles. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts, see what we see. So this was our Suma 1 departure north out of Seattle, right turn at Dugog, and then a right turn heading 071, intercept the 139. Actually, don't intercept it. That's just to intercept the 071 course in a southbound turn, and then heading down to Suma, which I think is right here. No, it didn't click right. Yeah, it's just not. This here is not to skip. That should be Suma right there. Huh? Still doesn't like that quick. Okay, so anyway, we're heading to Suma. We're going to go all the way down here to Baker City, then to Holville intersection, then to Beloy intersection, and then to Burley VOR, and this is all shown up here. Then we'll be doing the ILS 17 into Salt Lake City with the Weber transition. So Weber is actually off the scale here. I think it's right up here. Then from there, we'll be transitioning down to Gorps waypoint. Here's Weber, there's Gorps. Then Uduzu, was 21 miles, almost 22 miles north on the approach. And Avasi is where I usually have a tendency to transition over the ILS. We'll play it by ear. The other thing is, and I learned the hard way, is that hello. Oh, we're not getting any scaling here. The scroll wheel on my mouse sometimes. No, there we go. Now it works. These altitudes, the FMC will not send down or start slowing down to below our descent speed, our econ descent speed, until below 10,000. And by experience, it's extremely difficult to get down to these altitudes. You use it as a 1/1000, so it won't even descend below 1/1000 at Uduzi, 21 miles out north, unless you intervene and change that. So once what I did is I set up a restriction for 280 knots at flight level 180, and once it worked, and another time it did not accept that. So I'm going to kind of play it by ear. We may have to speed intervene on some of our waypoints as we go along, but the main thing is got to slow the aircraft down early on. So when you do get down, you're at speeds that you want to be. And here again, this is all because of the high elevation airport here. You just don't have the time otherwise unless you do take over and do a bunch of intervening. Okay, let's get back to the aircraft, see where we are. So we're coming up on flight level 310. Okay, our Mach econ climb speed has been commanded, Mach 8.52. Oh, cool. We're up to almost 500 knots, still in the climb. We are en route to Baker City VUR, our next waypoint. So while we're still on the climb here, I'm going to see if I can do what I just was talking about. If I remember what I want to do, here's what I want to do. I'm going to go to VNav. Now see here, you can put a speed restriction in, and if it calculates it can't do it, then it won't let you. So here's our econ climb, our cruise speed. So that's nice. I think I did the pre-flighting pretty reasonably here with a reasonable amount of reserves. Okay, now what I want to do is go to descent speed, or descent page, and this is already programmed. It already knows about this, 250 knots, 10,000. Now what I'm going to try doing, and before I continue there, here is our, it knows about Weber, and if I need to, I'll go to the legs page and put a speed restriction at Weber at 1/2000. I think last time I did this flight I set 260, which worked out pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and try 280 knots at 180. And see if it'll accept it. We're just about at our top of climb. Nope, it won't do it. Now, what I did before, I'm trying to remember what I did. I did something on the legs page. See, it's calculating it can't do that because of its planned descent. I'm trying to remember what I did when actually I was able to make this work. Nuts. I just don't remember what I did. It's a good couple months ago. Okay, must be coming up on our. Yep, we are. We're coming up on our cruise altitude, 50320 or 350. So now we're seeing what we expect to see. FMC is direct control of our speed, commanding Mach 8.52. LNAV has been in command, and the VNAV has not gone to the path. Actually, our ground speed slowed down. That's kind of surprising. FMC recommended 50330 on this trip. Maybe we're just up a little too high. So, I just wish I could remember what I did, or actually got it to accept this. Let's go back to the legs page. This might be reason why. It's because you can see here right now, this is not a hard speed, but it doesn't do any descending. Slowing down, as you can see. Mach 0.852 and 337 are probably pretty close to the same number. So I'm going to do, I think what I did last time. Actually, I think I set. See, how far is it from Weber to Gorps is 6 miles. Uduzzi is where you really want to be down to manageable speeds. I anticipating about a VREF of 170-ish, maybe, at our weight. Let's try putting .280 speed restriction at Weber. Jeez, got some real idiots out there. It's 2:30 in the morning. These guys are drag racing on a neighborhood street. Okay, so it accepted 280 at 12,000 at Weber. So I'm going to go over to the next page. I'm going to set, so it'll hold all that until it knows we need to be below 250 knots, below 10,000. That's why it changes here. I'm going to go ahead and set 260. At Gorps. Actually, yeah, at Gorps. So that, okay, so it's going to be busy, slowing us down from 280 and down to 260, but I'll be helping it along with drag items. Now, I'm going to go back to the VNAV page. I'm going to try setting, phooey. Let me go back here. Weber's at 280 at 12. Okay, and it somewhere between this VOR and Weber, 111 miles. Let's try. Let's try 290 at 18,000. Let's see if it'll accept that. Oh, cool. All right. that's only 10 knots above what I originally wanted, and I think it's allowing it is because I put these other restrictions in speed wise. So it's going to start slowing us down to 290 indicated when we leave 18,000, which will then make it easier for it to get to 280, which will be really easy at 12,000. And 260 at Gorps. And that's enough. Once we get drag and flaps starting to hang out, it'll be pretty easy to slow down from this point on. Here again, I think while we're here, let's take a look. Yeah, 160 is going to be our BREF. I'm going to using 30 degrees of flaps, which I'll do all this a little later. So it's already tuned the ILS for 1.7, 1.1.5, of course 166. Currently parked, and after it auto tunes, this will turn the letter A as an alpha. Okay. That makes me happy. We're well, I'm be darned, they actually slowed down a little bit. 488 knots, that's pretty good. So well, now that we're cruising, happy campers, let's do one more progress check here. So this shows our last fix where just after we're crossed. The current is Baker City BUR, 109 miles to go, estimating 0422. This will be the estimated fuel. So we're now estimating Salt Lake City at 0517. Time now is 0409. So just about an hour and 7 or 8 minutes to our destination. And let's see. Let's check our top of descent. Top of descent's at 0452, 342 miles. 045, so about 42 minutes from the top of descent. We're in that range a little bit more. So 45 minutes till we begin our descent in Salt Lake City. About an hour and 10 minutes to our destination. Let's take a quick look outside. Oh. There's our bird. Got the external volume up low on the high side. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here, pause the recording, and we'll pick it up again somewhere on or near our top of descent on our inbound route to Salt Lake City. And again, I'm going to do two things during the break. I'm going to make it a little earlier in the day. I like to land right about sunset or soon after. And I'm going to clear up the weather so we can see what's happening out there. And we're going to get rid of the fog and haze and clear it up so the terrain looks nice and clear and green. Okay, we will talk with you all at on our descent in Salt Lake City. Okay, back with you. We are on our descent. We should be at Salt Lake City in about 14, maybe 15 minutes. We're a little under 10 minutes to our next fix of Weber. About 9 minutes from it, which is our initial approach fix. We're going from Weber to Gorps to Uduzi, and from that point, turning straight in for the ILS 17 approach at Salt Lake City. So here are the restrictions that we put in. It should start slowing down to 290 as we pass through 50180. I'm not sure why it still shows this speed. I think that's going to change. So going to our approach ref page, our landing weight 729,200 pounds. We're going to use flaps 30 for landing. It gives us a speed of 160 for VREF. You bring it down here with clicking once to the scratch pad right here, which will then set it on our airspeed tape on the PFD. Once again, our ILS information, and it has gone ahead and auto-tuned the frequency 111.5, course 169 inbound. So we should see that displayed on the upper portion of the PFD, right in this area. And so as far as the PFD, I have the lights on, but they really don't get effective until it gets darker. So right now on the heading bug, I've got 151 set, which is our final intercept course from Gorps to Uduzzi. And then from that point on, we're inbound on the 166. So just as a backup, I got 2000 set on our altitude. For our altitude, I should say. Actually, I might go ahead and set, so these are just calculated altitudes. The next hard altitude it knows about is at 11,100 at Uduzzi, then 9,000 at Ivossi. So I'm going to set 11,100. And then 9,000 will be the next hard altitude, and we should be pretty much on the approach by then. Airport elevation's 4,800, I believe, 4,500. Let's go ahead and bring that back out again. We're still going. We're setting through 50240. Yeah, some of the lighting, it's easiest to see this cockpit when at dark, at nighttime. This is as bright as the PFD gets. This is the ND looks okay, and this is as bright as the upper ICAS. Oh, which reminds me, we need to bring up our checklist. So recall, there should be nothing there. Okay, we've done that. Notes have been checked. Auto brake. I usually don't use auto brake. Not with the hay. Let's go ahead and set it to auto brakes 2. Okay, that's done. Finding data VREF, the minimums have already been briefed. It is VFR. And we've already briefed ourselves on the approach. Okay, altimeters will be set here as we descend through 50180. And we'll arm the speed brakes here shortly. So you can, looking outside here, this is, it really is a beautiful area of our country. I think right here, these are salt flats though. Salt Lake is out here. We'll be heading right up this direction, and then the airport's back out here. So we'll be heading this direction, then turning south for the approach. One thing with a high elevation airport, you're a little less concerned when you're up at these altitudes and getting close to the approach, and well, you don't have so far to go on this approach. Okay, the FMC is auto-tuning VORs. We see at the lower portion of the ND. Okay, Weber is 6 minutes away. Looks like we're doing pretty well here. So what it should be commanding here below 18,000 should command 290, which I set in manually. Okay, we're just beginning to see the indicators for the localizer and glide slope. I hope it commands 290. I know it will command the lower speeds. Okay, let's go ahead and set local pressure. .9er. So altimeters are set. And let's go ahead and arm speed brakes. Okay, speed brakes are now armed. Okay, landing gear to go. Flap still to go. Okay, and there's our 290 set. So right now, on this FMC is doing a nice job on this descent. It has not requested drag items yet. My guess is it probably won't. This is going to make managing our airspeed so much nicer. It does take a couple extra steps. Speed brakes extended, yes I know. Oh, wait a minute. That was just supposed to be armed. That actually may not really want to do until closer into the approach. So let's bring them up, get rid of the message for now. We're going to do that. Okay, sending through 50140. 290 is commanded. Weber is 280 on a speed commanded to it. At well, it's got yeah, okay, 2000. As soon as we are heading towards Gorps, I'm gonna put 9,000 in the MCP window. Okay, it's interesting. Upper ICAS still says we're in cruise mode, and so this is where I like to be able to display different information on the other FMC head. So it should level off at, actually, I take that back, it's not going to level off at 2000 at Weber. That's not a hard altitude, so it should continue on down to 1100. And in fact, that's not even a hard altitude. The next hard altitude we have is Uduzzi at 1000. So I'm going to drop this down to 1000. Okay, we can go flaps 1 at 285 knots. That's one of the reasons why I like setting somewhere around 280, 290, so it'll be easy to start adding flaps, and the FMC will command lower speeds. Okay, cool. It has now commanded 280 at Weber, and it's going to even slow us down even more as we make our turn here to Gorps. So speed is being commanded again because it's adding power now to hold this 280 knots. So you can see here we're still, these will be just very nice angled turns to the final approach course. This is our, I have it set on the heading bug. Okay, we are turning towards Gorps. Okay, it's calculating 11,200 at Gorps, which is wonderful. Okay, we are proceeding as flight planned and set up. Oh, it's now commanding 260. Oh yeah, hello. That's what I commanded, 260 at Gorps. So it's dropped off the power. So we can get that speed. There's our airport right off here. To the left of the, what you call that thing? Going to 17, which is right here. There are two parallel runways. This is 16 left and 16 right. I like 17. I like to taxi, so this is going to put us pretty at south end of the airport. Cargo is way up the north end. I'll probably fast forward through all that, or pause, I should say. Okay, so our next target altitude is 9,000. Okay, and okay, hard altitude it knows about 1,000 at UDZ, which is still 6 miles away. So I'm going to go ahead and set 9,000 in the MCP. In fact, we can go ahead. See, I'm not sure I understand the logic behind this. It's giving us a flaps up speed at 240 and flaps 1 at 220. I'm not sure if that has to do with our weight or what it has to do with, because according to the placard, we can go flaps 1 at 285. In fact, I think we can go flaps 5. Okay, flaps 5 at 265. Okay, it just auto-tuned the ILS. Well, I'm going flaps 1. Which is now going to command a speed of 220. I'm not sure of that. Okay, so what we need to do here is switch the ND to the approach view. Let's go ahead and arm the localizer. Okay, it's turning towards the localizer now. Looks like we're pretty darn close to the glide slope. I'm going to arm their full approach. And looks like it's going to capture both of them in this present position. So our hard altitude 9,000 at OOC has now become moot. I'm going to go flaps 2. Let's see, flaps 5 can go at, or flaps 5 are already out already, at 245, which we're below, so flaps 5 being commanded. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and arm the speed brakes. I'll mark that off on the checklist. Landing gear still to go. We're still a little ways out. Okay, 16 miles out on the approach. Oh, I need to set the altitude. Nuts. Let's see, I got the approach plate on my second computer here. Our missed approach altitude is 6,000. And this is a standard 200.5 ILS, which I'm not going to worry about. So 6,000 is what we want on the MCP for now. Should be commanding a slower speed here. Let's get some more flaps. In fact, let's go ahead and lower the gear. So once again, 160 is our VREF. So I like VREF plus about 20 till about a 2 or 3 mile final. And I'm not sure what that beep was all about. Flaps are set at 10. This is good. It should not be commanding 220. It should be commanding less. I'm not sure why it's commanding that. Okay, speed brakes are extended. That's what we want. Well, I'm going to disregard what's on the airspeed tape here. Presently 220. Flaps 20 at 220, so I'm going flaps 20. Flaps 30 is what we're going to use for landing. Well, okay, it's giving us a command of the speed right here. That's my bad. I forgot about this. So I'm going to command 180. That becomes alive. Oh, nuts. I forget when it comes alive. Airspeed tape. Airspeed on the MCP. It's commanded. I'm not sure what. Okay, we are showing 7 miles out. Speed's looking good. That's altitude reminder based on the missed approach altitude. I'm kind of surprised it has not commanded auto land, which is fine. Okay, I'm going flaps 30. Yeah, I know speed brakes are extended. Oh, they're actually, I see why it's doing that. We just want them armed. Okay, flaps 30 now have been set, so our landing check is complete. Let's see, you're supposed to pull this up. Oops, come on. Speed brakes armed is what I want. Okay, that's arm position there, okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect auto throttle. Yes, thank you. Speed's looking great. So, let's see.
Approaching 17.
Gotta get my manual throttles here going. Okay, I'm going to slowly start to reduce power here. VREF plus 20. We want 160. So I'm coming back with power slowly. There VREF plus 10. Okay, power's back to idle. Eh, not bad. Okay, thrust reversers are being commanded. A little bit of rudder action. There's 80 knots. Brakes are being applied. Thrust reverse is deactivated. Don't stop. Oh. Oops. Auto brakes should have disconnected as soon as I hit the manual brakes. I got it. Now I want to stop it completely. Why are we not moving here? Oh, here we go. That took a little more oomph than I expected. Yeah, auto brakes should have disconnected as soon as I hit the manual brakes. Oh, it's phooey. Only got flaps 25 set for landing. Worked out okay. It's taking a lot more power than I expected here to taxi. All the brakes are off. So I'll go ahead and clean up the aircraft here. We're going to clear the runway. P&F would be raising the flaps, getting the lights off. Oh, phooey, I know. I'm surprised I didn't see that on the descent checklist. forgot to turn the lights on. Okay. So I'm going to do here, get a little further. Go ahead and set the parking brake momentarily. It will set. More problems with the parking brake in this darn thing. Alright, I'm just gonna just put on the brakes. I don't know what it is. Alright, what I want to do is let's just take a quick look at the approach. Again, that was my bad. I forgot to turn on all the lights. I do, that's why I usually leave the lights on. But I always seem to forget. And it was not on the checklist that I saw. The send checklist. Maybe on the full one. I don't know. But so we're not going to have our lights on. There's when I was trying to match my physical throttle with the aircraft's throttle after this harming the auto throttle. Aircraft is in a very nice attitude here for landing. Slowing down for our VREF. It's the big kahuna. Okay, there go the thrust reversers. Okay, let's go back to real time. So I brought up AVS here for our taxi, and I don't know about these brakes. I've been holding the toe brakes. I'm gonna release them. So we get this bird to taxi. This is really strange. Okay. All right. We need to get the flaps up. No lights to turn off. We're going to taxi way to the other north end of the field, so I'm going to pause here momentarily. So let's see. I want to get the flaps up. Okay, speed brakes are up and off. And we're crossing a short runway here between, actually 4 runways here. The 17
approaching 3, 2,
and that one. 16s, and then this one here is in the middle of them all. We also want to do is I got the IPU going here. So right now I'm just gonna taxi up here to Whiskey. Yeah, it's hard to see the numbers on this MCP during daylight hours. Let's see here. It's a little fast. Oh, I forgot to check. As I recall, Salt Lake City does not have any restrictions, but there are actually weight restrictions for this aircraft as well as um, the A380. Um, and so you're restricted on what taxiways you can take. And as I recall, Salt Lake City did not have any. And this message is because FMC is auto-tuned. So I was going to change the mode here.
Approaching 3, 4, right.
Okay, well, in debriefing this whole shebangle, the departure out of Seattle was a little disappointing. The first time I've been in this aircraft, I've ever seen the auto throttle. Somehow it was not functioning properly on takeoff because it did not command thrust ref for departure. I'm going to go ahead and turn here. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay here. These two taxiways join up here a little bit further north. So we're going to get on Yankee. I'm going to take this all the way up to the north end. It's 2.5 mile, maybe 3 mile taxi. So as soon as I get straightened out here, I'm going to get the APU running, then we'll pause the recording when we get close to parking. I'm just going to stay on this tack here because the taxiway turns. So, and yeah, the FMC did a fine job finding the aircraft. And here again, putting those airspeed restrictions in makes life a lot easier as far as slowing the aircraft down to speeds we like. The nice thing is that at this weight, VREF's 160 knots, 180 is a nice speed on a 3 or 4 mile final. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead on overhead here. Yeah, dumb. Okay, all these lights we're going to leave on for now. All I'm going to do is get the APU on going. And I'm watching our taxi. And the APU generator lights will come on here shortly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. If this is taxiing and parking and shutting down is not your ballywick, thanks so much for watching. We're going to continue on the taxi up and shut down and bring the ground crews out, the whole shebangle. But if you like to say goodbye, thanks for watching. Otherwise, we'll catch you all here at the north end of the airport. Okay, we made it to north parking. We are parked up at the north end. We're going to go ahead and get the APU online. And go ahead and shut down the engines. And it looks like a nice clean shutdown. Of course, that all these warning messages come on. And I should have gotten off our beacons. It's so hard to hit the center position, and also need to shut down all the anti-ice. But right now, I'm going to do is get the ground crew folks coming up. So, Mara shut down. Sorry, something in my throat there. What I'm going to do is get off all the anti-ice, first of all. We don't overheat them. And working our way most of the overhead will go off. RSs go to off. Going to leave standby power on, utility on, AP of course is on. Bus ties go back to isolate. Then control switches go off. And disconnect light, these stay horizontal. Then hydraulic demand pumps get shut off. Oh, I forgot to switch this one back to auto. Engine-driven hydraulic pumps go off. All the engine-driven fuel pumps go off. And I forgot to turn window heat on. Don't need that now. Now dampers go off. Let's turn on 2 packs for back there. And turn on the bleed, EQ bleed. Get some air circulating. Okay, looks like they're unloading us. I got a little darker than I would have liked here at Salt Lake City, but here we are, safe and sound. And our next flight is going to be here from Salt Lake City to Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll do that in the daytime. I don't know what I'll do for weather yet. But that was, I was pretty happy with the flight. Boy, it went. I had to do some things intervention-wise, but other than that, we're here. So I'm going to say good night, or good afternoon, good morning. Thanks so much for watching. And I've been out of this for over 15 years, so comments, plus or minus, certainly be appreciated. And if you like it, give it us a thumbs up, comments, and I'm going to do quite a few flights here in the 478 around the country. So subscribe if you like what you see. Talk to you on the next flight.